Kraft announces a dressing idea so new, it sizzles. A taste so fresh, it's juicy. New bacon and tomato dressing. It just had to be Kraft. With real bacon, crisp and savory, real tomato chopped in bits, and a touch of sour cream. If you think it sounds good, just wait till you taste it. New bacon and tomato dressing. For a better twist on taste, America turns to Kraft.
Congressman, could we re-examine this proposal?
Oh, by all means, Jane. Some coffee?
Please. Whoa!
Only half a cup? I thought you liked my coffee.
Love the rich taste. It's the caffeine I can do without.
Me too. That's why we're drinking Brim decaffeinated coffee.
This is Brim?
This is Brim, and it's decaffeinated, so you don't have to stop at half a cup.
If it tastes this rich, I don't want to stop. Fill it to the rim.
With Brim?
Fill your cup to the rim with the richness of Brim.
Money doesn't make a kid happy, but it takes a lot of it to make some kids healthy.
So through Labor Day, Skippy Peanut Butter and Golden Griddle Syrup are donating 5 cents to the Muscular Dystrophy Association every time you buy either product. That could mean $500,000 or more for Jerry's kids.
And that's hard to beat.
So's the good nutrition kids get from a Skippy lunch.
And a delicious breakfast with Golden Griddle. Thank you, Annette.
So look for these displays in your store, and thanks.
Remember those great moments, romantic moments you shared with CBS. Now cut it out! Great moments. One at each age. One at each age. Right there. Great moments.
The fire may be burning low,
But you still got a long, long way to go. Great moments,
New excitement.
great moments,
Pure delightment.
great moments. For you on CBS. Great moments,
Best of all.
great moments,
Again this fall.
great moments. For you on CBS.
Tomorrow on the CBS Morning News, varicose veins, the curse of the bare legs of summer. They can be contained or even removed. Join us and find out how.
Experience counts in covering the world. Dan Rather has it. Watch him on the CBS Evening News. This is CBS.
In tonight's news, why the Israelis unleashed such a tremendous barrage in West Beirut today, where tragedy has an entire town in mourning tonight. How the EPA decided to change its recommendation about what should go into your gasoline, and why Omaha doctors are so excited about a new emergency system in place tonight for the first time. We'll have all those stories and more next on Action News Tonight.
Ooh, clingy clothes.
Get the only lemon freshen detergent for a clean that breaks the static barrier. New Fab with full-strength fabric softener.
Full-strength fabric softener plus full-strength detergent and new Fab? Fabulous. No more staticky socks. And look, this is really clean. Pretty soft, Mom. And lemony fresh.
Get a clean that breaks the static barrier.
New Fab, we're glad. There's full strength fabric softener in you.
Performing Artists Omaha presents Ella Fitzgerald in Concert, a benefit for Girls Club of Omaha, Friday, August 6th at the Orpheum.
Now you see it, now you don't. Here you have it, here you won't.
Oh, Diet Pepsi, one small calorie. Now you see it, now you don't.
That great Pepsi taste.
Diet Pepsi won't go to your waist. So now you see it, now you don't.
Look for
Matching
specially
Money
marked
Game.
caps and
Look
pull
for
tabs
Diet
on
Pepsi caps marked M or gold top cans.
Spend your coffee time with Action News in the Morning at 8.
From Mid-America's leading news station, this is your update of the news with John McCaa, Rich Thiesfeld with sports, and Frank Bramhall with weather. This is Action News Tonight.
Good evening. At least 4 people are reported injured in an automobile accident at 45th and Ames about 1/2 hour ago. 3 of those people are said to have suffered serious injuries. We hope to have more information in just a few minutes. Overseas, the 9th ceasefire in Beirut since the Israelis surrounded PLO guerrillas in the western section of that city is holding tonight. But for several hours this morning, the Israelis threw nearly everything they had at the Palestinians. From land, sea, and air, PLO positions around the international airport were hit. Israeli tanks later took control of the airport. By mid-afternoon, the fighting centered near a major Palestinian refugee camp and a PLO stronghold near the airport. Overhead, Israeli jets struck with more ferocity than anyone has seen here, first hitting positions in the suburbs, then moving into West Beirut itself, built up and heavily populated. For a time, some thought it was the long-expected Israeli push to move the PLO out of West Beirut. But Israel said all along today it was retaliation for PLO violations of earlier ceasefires. However, members of Prime Minister Begin's cabinet are becoming more convinced the PLO is just trying to drag the negotiations out, perhaps hoping for better terms. They've been told by Special U.S. Envoy Philip Habib a peaceful solution is still possible, but they're starting to doubt that.
Political process stands very close. Mr. Habib is trying what he's trying in Beirut. I'm afraid we don't see any signs yet of the terrorists ready to leave.
Defense Minister Sharon warns his government still prefers to negotiate a settlement, but it has never promised not to enter West Beirut. And Lebanese police officials say at least 200 were killed in West Beirut today. No word on how many were civilians. Israel's Christian allies in the eastern section claim PLO fire killed 15 civilians there, and the Israelis say 9 of their soldiers were wounded. This is Crépy-au-Valois in France, the coffins of 44 children who died yesterday along with 9 adults in a highway accident involving 2 buses and several cars. The bodies were returned today to the small village which saw them off Friday on what was to have been a summer holiday. Throughout the day, parents and friends arrived in small groups to pay respects in the austere village gymnasium. At the village hall, many came to see the names of the dead on the door, to perhaps confirm what they already knew. Mayor Michel Dupré calls yesterday the most tragic day in his village's history, even sadder than the day during World War II when the village was overrun by German forces. In fact, more children died yesterday from the town than in all of that war. Funeral services will be held Tuesday. And locally, a Sarpy County man died in a train truck crash this afternoon. Authorities say 55-year-old John Rochelle was killed when the pickup truck he was driving collided with a Burlington Northern freight train. Rochelle was driving east on Fairview Road before being struck by the southbound locomotive. Rochelle's stepson, Michael Young, was riding in the pickup. The 15-year-old boy is listed in good condition at St. Joseph Hospital tonight. Sarpy County Sheriff's officials say they do not know why Rochelle failed to stop for the oncoming train. Well, it's been a long time in the planning, but today was finally the day it finally arrived, the day Omaha's new plan for treating the critically injured began. Sally Myers has the details in this report.
When this accident happened, 4 critically injured Creighton University students were taken to the nearest hospital. But with the trauma system which officially goes into effect today, that won't happen.
Instead of being taken to the nearest hospital, they're going to be taken to one of the trauma centers.
As of today, there are 2 trauma centers, one here at the Med Center, another at St. Joe's. What you'll find at both places, 24 hours a day, is a full complement of specialists waiting on standby to care for critically injured patients.
What the trauma center means is that the entire hospital has its resources ready, really at a moment's notice. All of the personnel are in the hospital. If the patient needs to go to the operating room right away, that can be accomplished. They can go really from the rescue squad to the operating room without any delay. Don't have to wait for a surgeon to come in. Surgeons are in the house. Operating room staff is ready.
Carforson says research in other cities indicates trauma centers such as this do make a difference.
Baltimore in particular, they were showing initially when their system was started about an 80% mortality, and it's now down to well less than 50%. Theirs is a little different type of system, but hopefully we can see some good results as well.
As the trauma center is utilized, records will be kept and its progress will be studied. Changes, according to Farquharson, will be made if they're needed. Sally Myers, Action News Tonight.
Well, a change over the weekend downtown at Omaha Police Headquarters. Chief Robert Wadman now has a second in command. He has promoted Deputy Chief Keith Lant to Assistant Chief. That change satisfies Wadman's desire for a permanent right-hand man. Lant is now in charge of the Criminal Investigation Bureau. Under the new changes, he'll retain those duties. Well, the National Guard may leave Dakota City. President Reagan is coming to Des Moines, and Roxanne Conlon isn't so sure where she's going. Those stories are next.
When you're 55 or older, you expect the best, and it's just for you that Omaha National is announcing our exclusive 55 and Better program. Better because you'll get 5.25% interest on checking and no service charge with a minimum balance of $100. You'll get free checks, $100,000 accidental death, common carrier insurance, special chartered vacation tours, and much, much more. It's never too late to learn a better way. 55 and Better, only at Omaha National.
Selling your corn?
No, just talking corn.
Learn anything?
Yep.
Well, what's that?
I notice a lot of fellas compare their hybrids to Pioneer hybrids.
What's that prove?
Well, if Pioneer hybrids are the ones to beat, I figured they must be the ones to plant.
It's official. Nebraska Furniture Mart is going out for business. You can shop bankruptcy, liquidation, or factory overstock sales, but nowhere will you find selection, quality, or prices like these. Sensational buys on the entire line of quality Whirlpool appliances, like Whirlpool washers that have been re-engineered top to bottom. Whirlpool dryers, innovative, simple, and efficient. Whirlpool washers and dryers, all at super low prices. They're going out for business at the Money Saver, Nebraska Furniture Mart, Omaha.
Life. It's something we all cherish. It's the sense of wonder, the pleasure of discovery, and the joy of caring. At John A. Gentleman, we care about you. Serving Omaha families for over 75 years, we provided that special kind of caring you've come to trust. John A. Gentleman. Caring when you need it most.
Well, as we told you before, a three-car accident shortly after 9:30 this evening has left at least 4 people injured. Details at this time are very sketchy. Police are on the scene at 46th and Ames, and an investigation is underway concerning the cause of the crash. 3 of the 4 known injured are serious. The condition of the 4th person is not known at this time. We are also not sure if any additional people may have been hurt in the pileup. 2 rescue squads were dispatched to the scene in addition to police and fire personnel. To repeat, the 3-car accident at 46th and Ames late this evening has left at least 4 people injured. We'll have an update on this story on Action News in the morning at 8 o'clock. The Nebraska National Guard and the State Patrol will decide tomorrow whether they will continue to stay at the Iowa beef plant in Dakota City. Guard spokesman Rick Sims says if things stay quiet, the 100 men stationed at the plant may be sent home. And State Patrol Major Gene Morrissey says he will monitor activity tomorrow and may also pull his men off the special assignment at the plant. About 2,400 workers struck the plant 2 months ago, and violence broke out when IBP attempted to reopen with non-union employees. But authorities say all has been calm since the patrol and guard moved in. Contract negotiations will reopen next Friday. When President Reagan shows up in Iowa tomorrow, he'll be on a big selling mission, his product, his new grain policy. The president starts off his visit tomorrow morning in Des Moines, where he'll address about 10,000 people at the annual convention of the National Corn Growers Association. He'll try to convince them the 1-year extension on the U.S.-Soviet grain sale agreement is not a bad idea. Many people, including Agriculture Secretary John Block, had hoped for a new 5-year agreement guaranteeing bigger Soviet grain purchases. But the president feels with Soviet involvement still evident in the repression in Poland, the U.S. must make it clear through its grain policy and other methods it disagrees with the Soviet-backed action. The president will also visit a 400-acre farm about 40 miles outside Des Moines during his visit. Democrat Roxanne Conlon's race to the Iowa State House ran into some high hurdles today that may prove insurmountable. In a statewide poll by Des Moines Register newspaper, Conlon now trails her Republican opponent, Lieutenant Governor Terry Branstad. In previous surveys, she had been ahead of Branstad, but figures released today give the Lieutenant Governor 49%, Conlon 37%, with 14% of those likely to vote in November still undecided. The results signal a major reversal in the race, likely due to the recent release of Conlon's financial statement. A summary showed she and her husband worth about $2.2 million, but she paid modest federal taxes last year and no state taxes. The poll also indicates the full effect of the financial disclosure may not have been felt yet. Last February, the Environmental Protection Agency called for the weakening of limits in the use of lead in gasoline. Well, now it's calling for a tightening of those restrictions. Sam Ford explains why.
Under current standards, big refiners are allowed to average no more than half a gram of lead per gallon of gasoline. But since more and more new cars are burning lead-free fuel, refiners have been allowed to put more and more lead in the regular gas, making it cheaper to manufacture. The new EPA proposal would stop that, resulting in a dramatic decrease in lead emissions.
We have determined that the regulations as they are currently drafted are not the most efficient means, and I will shortly propose to Administrator Gorsuch some revisions that will result in a 31% greater reduction of lead emissions to the atmosphere than we would have anticipated had the present regulations not been changed.
Under the proposal, unleaded gasoline would be ignored since it causes no problem, and refiners would be allowed to have no more than 1.1 grams of lead in their other gasolines. The proposal would toughen standards for some smaller refiners who were previously exempt, as well as imported gas, which is exempt from current standards. The cutback is welcome because lead poisons people. Surveys have found 1 out of 5 small inner-city black children have enough lead in their blood to retard their mental or physical growth. Environmentalists are reserving comment on the proposal until it is made available for them to read. But if they do support it, as seems quite possible, it would be one of those rare instances where something proposed by the Reagan administration won their approval. Sam Ford, CBS News, Washington.
Frank Bramhall says forecasting has been easier lately thanks to the steady weather. He'll be here to tell us if that trend will continue.
We're American Charter, of the people, for the people. We're long and short-term money market certificates, like our new 3-month and 42-month certificates. We're charter investment accounts with high money market rates, low minimums, and terms as short as 8 days for investment liquidity. We're American Charter, of the people, for the people.
American Charter, American Charter.
Want to save money on gasoline? Come on into Amoco. Because right now, when you pay with cash, you get a discount on every gallon of Amoco's problem-solving gasoline. Pay cash for Amoco Regular. Get a discount. Pay cash for lead-free Amoco. Get a discount. Pay cash for Amoco Super Lead-Free. Get a discount. Pay with cash, save on gas. Now at Amoco.
High-octane hog chow. It's got an edge on other feeds. First off, it's richer, concentrated with plenty of balanced essential nutrients, and of course, high levels of energy. Finishes hogs an average 7 days quicker than other rations. Produces 100 pounds more pork with every ton. Get the high-octane performance edge now at your Purina dealer.
You can depend on the experienced professionals at Tim O'Neill Chevrolet, the home of the truck in Council Bluffs. Professionals like service manager Hank Bassett, whose 35 years of service experience means you'll get the job done right.
Tim O'Neill Chevrolet, home of the truck.
Visit the experienced professionals now.
Home of the truck.
Tim O'Neill Chevrolet, Lake Manawa exit, Council Bluffs.
They say some like it hot, and some are going to like tomorrow.
Yes, we hot weather freaks are going to enjoy the next few days. The temperatures are going to be soaring into the upper 90s, the way it looks. We are perhaps in store for the warmest weather we've had so far this winter. Looking at some of the highs today, that we had mainly around the state. As you can see, it was 95 up there at Norfolk. Look, 106, a new record there at Valentine, Nebraska. They broke a record they said just 2 years ago of 104, 100 out at Scottsbluff, also down at McCook. We had 95, as you can see here in the Omaha area, 96. The report from Lincoln. On our satellite map, you can see that we're still under nice, fair skies. A lot more rain down to the south, but not as bad as it's been the last couple of nights. And there's rain lying to the northwest of us. That'll probably get here Tuesday afternoon. But until then, we can expect some pretty nice weather. On the national map, this frontal system, which has come down now to almost to northern Iowa, it looks as though it's just going to sort of slide off to the east and not be bothering us at all. And we'll just keep under the nice fair but hot air that is coming in our direction, or going to be in our direction, our area for a while. And there are still some thunderstorm and rain activity associated with this down in the Southland. Nothing really too severe, except they did have reports of a couple of tornadoes in southern Oklahoma today. Let's have a look at how it's going to be at 6 p.m. tomorrow. The forecast map shows that frontal system sliding off to the east, but that other frontal system slowly approaching. There are thunderstorms and rain showers associated with it, but it still shouldn't be here yet by 6 o'clock tomorrow, but move in on Tuesday. A very slow moving system. Around the area now, it's 85 up at Fremont, 77 in Lincoln, 80 over at Clarinda, 78 at Spencer, and 83 out at North Platte. And that's a pretty warm evening for much of the area. Right now in the Omaha Council Bluffs area, Lincoln 2, clear skies, 81 at both Offutt and Epley. That's 27 Celsius. Northwest Omaha is 83, which is 28 Celsius, with 55% relative humidity, south breeze at 8, and a rising barometer 2984. Lincoln has 77 and clear this hour. For Omaha, Council Bluffs and Lincoln, fair and mild tonight with south breezes low of 70 in both towns. Sunny and hot tomorrow with southeast breezes high of 98 for us, 100 in Lincoln. Tomorrow night, fair and warm with south winds, low of 74 overnight for the Omaha Council Bluffs area, Lincoln 75. Tuesday, partly cloudy with a chance for a few showers. That's what I was mentioning. In the afternoon, high of 95 in spite of it all. Wednesday, sunny and hot, 97. Partly cloudy and hot, 98 on Thursday. Again, it was 95 officially for Omaha today.
95. Not bad. Thanks a lot,
First day of August.
Okay. We gave Rich Thiesfeld a little extra time to talk about the sporting news tonight. We'll see what he has after this.
Hey kids, guess what's coming to town? There'll be elephants and clowns and tigers and... Not just a circus, Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey Circus, the greatest show on earth. Coming to Omaha Civic Auditorium Tuesday, August 24th and Wednesday, August 25th. Save money at the matinee shows that Channel 6 will sponsor. $2 off the regular ticket price. Get your special price tickets today. Don't miss the greatest show on earth. Yeah!
I'd like you to know why we at 1 Hour Optical can provide you with quality 1-hour service.
Using our vast inventory of contact lenses, our highly skilled ophthalmic technicians operate this precision equipment with numerous quality control checks to assure exact prescriptions. We don't send your contacts out of town, which takes time. Every step is performed and inspected right here. And in approximately 1 hour, most contacts are ready for us to properly adjust.
So that's why we're able to give you quality 1-hour service at 1 Hour Optical.
Introducing 3 new Grandwiches. The new Seaside Grandwich. The new Swiss Chicken Grandwich. The new Chicken Italiano Grandwich. The Grandwiches. Now there are 10. And if you ever taste a Grandwich, a sandwich will be just a sandwich.
Why do 100,000-mile flyers choose United?
The greatest show on earth plays over 80 cities a year, which means I fly United all the time, because they go just about everywhere we play with lots of convenient flights to choose from.
Like the only Los Angeles nonstop, as low as $159.
With United, traveling on business is always a pleasure, even when you're working with a bunch of clowns.
People who fly for a living fly United's friendly skies.
In Cooperstown, New York today, a couple of the names that are being batted around a lot were Hank and Frank.
Hank and Frank, and a couple more that were a little before my time, but very deserving, all of them. The past did come alive today in Cooperstown, New York, as 4 baseball immortals were inducted into the Hall of Fame. The Veterans Committee named Travis Jackson, New York Giants shortstop in the 20s and 30s, and Happy Chandler from 1945 to 51, one of the game's most innovative commissioners. Now, from the modern era, Frank Robinson and Hank Aaron both made it on their first chance. Only 11 others have done that. Robinson, of course, played 21 seasons for Cincinnati and Baltimore. He's the only man ever to win Most Valuable Player awards in both leagues, fourth on the all-time home run list, and in 1975 he became baseball's first black manager. Hank Aaron played in the bigs for 23 seasons, and 8 years ago passed Babe Ruth as the all-time home run king. Aaron's other stats are just as incredible. He's the all-time leader in games played, RBIs, total bases, even sacrifice flies. 4 new Hall of Famers, all of them very deserving. Well, the Omaha Royals may be ready to make a late-season run in their drive for the Association West title. Tonight, the Blue ended its losing streak against Iowa, downing the Cubs 9-4 in Des Moines. The Royals now return to Rosenblatt Stadium for 7 straight home games, beginning tomorrow night against Indianapolis. Again, the Royals down Iowa tonight 9-4, but Wichita also won, so the Royals are still behind the Arrows. In the American League, Detroit down Toronto 8-5, Cleveland and Milwaukee split 2. The Indians 4-1 over the Brewers, but Milwaukee came back to win the nightcap 7-2. Chicago down the Red Sox again 4-2. It was Kansas City over the Orioles, also by that 4-2 count. California pounded Seattle 9-4. Minnesota shaded Oakland 8-7. And after 7 innings, Texas leads the Yankees 4-1. In the National League, Montreal over the Cardinals today 5-4. Pittsburgh edged the Mets in 10 innings 4-3. Chicago finally won one. The Cubbies over Philadelphia 7-2. San Diego won its 3rd straight over Cincinnati 8-6, while the Dodgers complete a 4-game sweep over Atlanta. LA now just 6.5 games behind the Braves. And after 7 innings, San Francisco leads Houston 1-0. The 3-day National Junior Olympic Track and Field meet wrapped up today in Lincoln with some outstanding final day performances, including a new record in the high jump. Maurice Crumby of San Francisco, California, was the man in the spotlight today. He's up and over the bar at 7 feet 3 inches there. That's a new meet record. And we have another look at his jump in slow motion, and I can't recall a better high jump in the state by an 18-year-old. 7 feet 3 inches. This is on his final attempt. He just brushed the bar, but it stayed up, so a new meet record for Maurice Crumby of San Francisco. How did Nebraskans fare today? Well, the best hope for a gold was in the young women's 3,000-meter run, but Carleen Erickson couldn't quite do it, finishing second, almost 15 seconds behind the winner, Patty Metzler of Jackson, Ohio. Well, T. Ivy of Omaha Central also picked up the silver medal. She finished second in the intermediate women's 400-meter dash. Zell Fowler of Omaha was seventh in the young women's 800. In golf, Beth Daniel overcame last week's loss at the Women's U.S. Open by firing an 8-under par 64 this afternoon to win the LPGA stop in Denver by 2 shots over Patty Sheehan. Sally Little finished 3rd. And on the men's tour, Bruce Litsky had the pleasure of walking up the 18th fairway with the crowd clapping at the Canadian Open today. Litsky slumped to a final round 2 over par 73 this afternoon, but he still won by 2 shots because no one else really made a charge at him. Rookie Hal Sutton managed 71 and finished second, while Charles Coody and Tommy Valentine tied for 3rd. But the day clearly belonged to Litsky. It's his 2nd Canadian Open championship and his first tour win in almost 15 months. A full slate of tennis action today. In men's play, Ivan Lendl will meet Jose Higueras in the finals of a Grand Prix tournament in New Hampshire after both came out on top today. Tomas Smid of Czechoslovakia won a WCT event in France, while Yannick Noah beat Raul Ramirez to win a tournament in New Jersey. On the women's side, Tracy Austin and Chris Everett Lloyd both won separate events this afternoon. Meantime, at Dewey Park today, Doug Boswell of Tulsa, Oklahoma in the near court outscrapped Dave Thies for the Missouri Valley Open Tennis Championships. Boswell used his consistency and hustle to down Thies' power game 6-4, 6-1. Boswell thus remains unbeaten this year. He's picked up 5 different titles. And Tulsa made a clean sweep of the singles championships as Cheryl Hansen won the women's open crown in straight sets over Susan Deem. In the ring today, unbeaten junior middleweight Tony Ayala needed just 90 seconds to knock out Robbie Epps and raise his record to 21-0. The bout was in Ayala's hometown of San Antonio, Texas. His next fight, though, should be considerably tougher. He's expected to meet Roberto Duran this fall. It wasn't the World Cup at UNO's Coniglia Field today. It was the Nebraska State Soccer Association's Cup Championships. It wasn't the number 10 either, I hope. 4 teams were involved. This is the opening contest between the Olympia squad and the light jerseys and the Senior League All-Stars. The All-Stars went on to win that game 2-1, and in the championship battle, Dortmunder beat Azteca 2-1. Henry Ryan and Mike Dinwiddie scored the Dortmunder goals, handing them their 3rd straight Cup championship. Well, today in Milwaukee, Tom Sneva coasted to victory in the tragedy-marred Tony Bentonhausen 200 Indy Auto race. The veteran finished nearly a lap ahead of runner-up Bobby Rahill. Mario Andretti was 3rd. The bad news came this morning when driver Jim Hickman died after crashing during a practice run yesterday. And finally, a big reception today at the airport for young Carly Urban, an Omaha gymnast who did very well at the recent National Sports Festival in Indianapolis. Carly brought home several medals. Her best finish, and remember this is a national competition, 2nd in the vault. So our congratulations go out to Carly and her coach, Bruce Brown. And we're not done yet, John. The Centimore boys fast-pitch softball team won its 2nd straight Omaha City title today, and the Keystone boys 14 and 15-year-olds took the state baseball title, beating Grand Island.
Those guys are taking care of business.
This year they are.
Okay, thanks a lot. Miller Park played host to a variety of artists this afternoon. A report and the weather wrap-up is next.
It's the Rec Room Shop's fantastic barricade busting sale. Let them fix up the roads. Let them tear up the bridges. We've got a sale that's bigger and better than ever. We've slashed prices on our entire inventory, from water beds to pools and spas. Everything is now barricade bargain priced. And you know, with our newly constructed entrances, you really don't have to bust a barricade.
Take a good time home today from the Rec Room Shop.
Furniture Liquidators declares war. That's right, Furniture Liquidators is holding their biggest sale ever at the Holiday Inn Omaha in the Grand Ballroom located at 72nd and Grover. To show you we mean war, Furniture Liquidators will beat anyone's prices. That's right, just bring in any current furniture store's ad and we'll beat the price on anything we have in stock, win, lose, or draw. That's Thursday, July 29th through Monday, August 2nd, 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily at the Holiday Inn Omaha in the Grand Ballroom located at 72nd and Grover.
Performing Artists Omaha presents Ella Fitzgerald in Concert, a benefit for Girls Club of Omaha, Friday, August 6th at the Orpheum.
Shrimp, fish, and chicken. 3 for the money.
Let Long John Silver's put a smile on your taste.
Our 3 top tastes in a shrimp, fish, and chicken special. Big shrimp.
Crispy fish.
Tender chicken.
3 for the money.
At one special price. Shrimp, fish, and chicken special, complete.
Let Long John Silver's put a smile on your taste.
Who else gives you 3 for the money?
Miller Park was unusually busy today as neighborhood residents packed in for the 2nd annual Family Arts in the Park Festival. Artisans and craftsmen of various persuasions found one of the shadiest places around to set up, the leafy coolness allowing you to linger pleasantly at one of the many demonstrations, even on a hot afternoon. Entertainment was scheduled throughout the day, too, ranging from music to a water ballet to these budding young dancing stars. Organizers point with pride to the fact this is the only local park to put on its own programs, and all the craftsmen and performers live in North Omaha, all that is except the Nebraska Repertory Theater, which staged Alice in Wonderland. Today's festivities were a joint effort of the Arts and Humanities Council of Florence and the many neighborhood groups represented in the Miller Park Community Council. Now here's Frank Bramhall with the evening cast.
Making a breakfast cast, 7 a.m. Should be clear and hazy and about 70 degrees at that time. Our low this morning, 69, reached 95 officially today. Tonight, 70 overnight and maybe 98 degrees tomorrow. John?
I guess that might help, breakfast instead of
right.
Evening. Thanks a lot, and thank you for joining us. Join us again next weekend.
Part of me tries to be good, but the other part really loves chocolate. Chocolate and creamy peanut butter. So I'm smart about it. I indulge in a go-ahead bar.
Sure, Go-Ahead's all chocolate, light, creamy peanut butter, and great crunchy crisps. But Go-Ahead's fortified, too, with 19 vitamins and minerals. So there's even more to love. Go ahead.
Go ahead, I love you.
Get reductions on top of already reduced prices during Rothschild's July clearance on some of the best fashions for men. We call it our sales triangle. Look, this is the John White's Trio. Regular price, Rothschild's normal sale price, and during July, just $119.90. This is a brand name silk sport coat. Our normal sale price, during July, just $69.90. And these famous waistband slacks are reduced to $29.90. It's like having an uncle in the business.
Burger King presents The Late Show.
Now most of our drive-thrus are open way past midnight.
Aren't you hungry for Burger King now?
Watch the CBS Morning News now weekday mornings at 6.